I want to talk a little bit about your charity.
Mm-hmm.
What inspired you to start the Best of the Batch Foundation?
For me, it started February 8th, 1996. And a lot of people, February 18th, 1996. And for me, it started with a phone call, from my mother. And, me and my mother are very close. And you get to that point, and my roommate answered the telephone. And he's like, "Hey, Charlie, your mom's on the phone." So I pick up the phone. And I said, "Mom, what's going on?" And she's like, "You need to come home." And I'm like, "Well, what do you mean I need to come home? You need to tell me why I'm coming home." And she literally told me at that point, I didn't know how long I was coming home for or whatnot. And I'm packing a bag, basically a packing bag full of nothing, because I had no idea what I was coming home for. And she told me at that point, and with the deepest swallow that I've ever heard in my life, she said, "Your sister's been shot and killed." I said, "What?" And I said, "Did I just hear what I just heard?" And she's like, "Yeah." And literally, I got home and you see the yellow tape, you see, you knew something was happening. So I'm trying to figure out what happened, because nobody had the pieces that was going on. And when I finally got the information, it basically was, my sister was walking down the street with a friend from a friend's house, and she got caught between crossfire between rival gangs. And the guy that she was with used her as a body shield. And my sister got shot and killed. She got shot and killed in the side of the head instantly. And at that, but she was only 17. And so Danielle never had an opportunity to live life. And I remember at that point, because I was kind of hesitant about going back to school, because I'm like, okay, I need to kind of help provide for the family. And my mother was like, "No, you're going back to finish what you started. And your sister wanted you to do that." And I went back, and I said, at that point, I'm putting all my time and energy to, number one, graduating college, setting out that goal. I was able to do that in 1997, and then putting myself in position to get drafted. And I was able to do that in 1998. And at that point, I said, okay, now is the time to start that foundation. And started in 1999. And we had programs. And once I came to Pittsburgh in 2002, I was able to redirect the foundation goals from Detroit to Pittsburgh. And at that point, we started out with 125 kids and 25 volunteers. And now here we are 14 years later. We now touch 3,100 kids annually, 5 different counties, and we have 13 different programs that we have with the foundation. So for me to be able to, take that negative and turn it into a positive, it was something that, of course, now the kids don't understand it because they never knew, but the parents know what happened to our family. And I never want that other family to be what we were 17 years ago, which was the top story on the news. And people trying to figure it out. And we just try to give these kids, something to do. We're an educational foundation. The name of the foundation, the Best of the Batch Foundation. We're an educational foundation which uses sports to draw kids in. Mm-hmm. And then at that point, we're able to implement any educational component that we choose. For instance, our basketball league that we have now just finished 13 years. Then we have 363 kids who participate for 8 weeks, 4 days out of the week. So what I do is throw the little nugget out. And I say, "Hey, you want to play basketball?" And they're like, "Yeah." And then I'm like, "Oh, yeah, by the way, you need to read a book and attend 3 mandatory study sessions in order to be part of this." So this is our way of keeping the kids paying attention to something paying attention to a book in the summer, which otherwise they wouldn't do, because it's a lot easier to do it this way versus saying, "Hey, meet me at Carnegie Library. We're going to read a book in the summer." I'd be lucky to get 25 kids. So this is our way of doing it. It's work for us. And when you have over 100 dedicated volunteers who help us, because I can't do this by myself, Latasha can't do this by we just can't do it by ourselves. And, when you see people who are willing to come out, and you have many different choices to choose from, but they pick the Batch Foundation, that's truly humbling, because, that means because they believe in us.
So what is the meaning behind Best of the Batch?
Best of the Batch, it's a play off of the name, obviously, but it's a way for them to we're just trying to push these kids beyond their expectations. And when you look back, we want you to become the best of the batch. And I don't care in whatever capacity that may be. You might be a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. You may start your own. You may just be working for someone else. But wherever you are in your life, you want to give back, and we challenge you to give back. And people do that. And some people can do it financially, but some people can do it with their time. And time is sometimes more valuable than what that money is. So whatever that looks like, we just make sure that we always encouraging kids to do that. We always have core words of value that will always be around, so these kids are able to see positive reinforcements of those words, and we're just making sure that they believe in themselves.
What are batch packs?
Batch packs, another play off of my name. What we've done now over the last 10 years, we give school supplies out. And what we've done is we should stuff the bags and give them to kids. So at that point, we were like, we need to make it more personal to these kids. And what we would do is we give bags that are donated. We give screens printed, and then the name would come up, batch packs, which is a place, instead of calling them a book bag, we just call it batch packs. So what we've done is now, especially at my elementary school, because it's my elementary school. Yeah. So these kids all get a chance to, they get to pick their own bags. They'll put them on in the front. And then from there, there's a table set up with all of the volunteers that will come through. So now they get a chance to pick their folders, they get to pick their crayon, they get to pick their crayons, rulers. And then with the event that we have, as we raise money for our reading computer literacy programs, we ask people to donate books and write an inspirational message on why this was your favorite children's books as you were growing up. So as they get all the way down the line, they get a chance to now pick a book, and they open it up and they're able to read what that message is and why this was important to someone else. So that's just something that we continue to go down the line. So now we give them all the tools that they need at the beginning of the year with no excuses. You now have what you need. Now here's your opportunity to go out there and get the best grade possible. We expect that to be all A's, because there's no reason you put the time and the focus in. You should be able to accomplish what you want to accomplish in school. And now we've been able to grow that. And now over 10 years with batch packs, people look forward to it, and I look forward to it, and especially my teammates look forward to it. They get a chance to come over and hang out with the school and the kids in the school. And we now give over 2,500 batch packs out. And in addition to 2,500 batch packs out, we give over 200 teacher supplies, because they state budgets, they cut everything. So now teachers are actually going into their pockets and having to spend their personal money for work. So what we've done is now put a bag together. It's about a $250 value. Put a bag together, and the teachers think we're just coming in for the kids. And then in addition, we give the teachers, and you can see a lot of the teachers are emotional because they're like, this is for us? And we're like, yes. And they go through the bag and they're like, oh, binder clips. They're like these little things that we kind of throw around and take for granted, but those in school, I mean, that is like a godsend for teachers, to be able to kind of put these things together. And we're just trying to do our small part. We're trying to do our small part as we help attack the literacy rates around the country, and what better way to support the teachers.
Are there any other charities you have started or that you participate in?
We haven't started any officially, but we do support a lot. We support, one of our favorites is Strong Women, Strong Girls. Literally you're teaching 3rd and 5th graders, I'm not saying myself, but the organization is teaching them become a woman. And they understand their body's changing, understand these different things and why they're going through things emotionally as they're, going through that portion of their life. And, they're fantastic. I know she's, my wife, Latasha, she literally is part of that. She goes through it off the field. Where's a support group with women that are, helping them engage with transition looks like for NFL players and players' wives. Mm-hmm. And then one other issue that she's strong in is the women in center and shelter. And obviously, domestic violence is a big issue throughout the NFL now because of the videos that was shown, but we've been helping try to get the word out to let people know, look, these things occur, so that's why we go out and we support them, especially during the holiday season. We go back and you have people who are in different situations. We'll make sure that Santa didn't miss the kids. Yeah. So it really makes it special to really go through and be part of those organizations because, just like they have support us, we want to support them because we believe in their missions.
Is your mom active in your charity?
Yes, she's very active, yes.
What does she do?
Actually, her big thing is with the basketball league. She's like the general manager. Mm-hmm. So she makes everything happen so everyone knows my mom from that aspect, based off anything else that we may need throughout the year. Obviously, she has other things going on as well. But when you're talking about running into understanding and contact information from volunteers, making sure that we have everyone that we need, and people know that there is a direct contact with everyone. I mean, she's that liaison that really makes it happen. And everyone knows there's just Miss Lynn. And if you say Miss Lynn, everyone knows exactly who you're talking about. And that's a tribute to her, because she's been around this community for so long that a lot of people know her. And it's not hard for anyone to get in touch with me, because my mom lives in the same house. Her phone number has been the same for 25 years. My grandmother's been in the same house for 40 years, and her phone number has been the same for 40 years. So, we want to make sure that, we are approachable. And that's something that I always strive myself in, to the point where you're able to reach out to us. And I make sure that kids have my cell phone number. And I mean, like, don't call me. You say you have a Steelers phone number, in the phone and playing on my phone. Call it. If you need something, we're here for you. And you have to give credit to the kids, because my phone number's been the same for 14 years and I haven't changed it.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Do they call you very often? You
have some of them that do. And now they text now. They don't call,
so. Text do you get a day, Charlie?
I do get a lot of texts, and one of the things, they'll text, and at that point, you run through it. If I have to pick up the phone and call them, I'll do that. But a lot of it is, hey, are you at the office? And I'm like, yes. And they stop up. And when you have a physical office that these kids know that we're at, people are able to walk in the building. We sit right on the bus line. We don't, you only have the Port Authority bus that comes through. We don't have a school bus system that is in the Steel Valley School District. So actually, the kids are able to stop in. We know which kids are in trouble, which ones aren't, because we know, based off the time of year, when we don't see kids, that means their grades are slipping, which when report cards come out, when you walk down, they tend to go the other direction because they don't want to see us. So we've always, we do that a lot. We're up there, and we just make sure we engage in the kids' lives. And one thing that, people don't know about the foundation, we actually have an alternative school program that's taught in our building daily. And we've had that now the last 7 years. So we have middle school and high school taught daily, and we're part of the Steel Valley School District. And we have court-appointed kids who will come over, some kids who are kicked out of school. But unfortunately, the goal is to have none. But unfortunately, we do have kids who are kicked out of school, and we're their last step before they go to Schumann Center. So we engage with the kids to make sure we help figure out what that plan is and map out that plan for them to go back to school. Because you do have a lot of kids who think that if I'm not playing sports, what's the point of going to school? So we make sure that we engage the principal, the guidance counselor, the coach. If that particular person wants to go and eventually go back to school or go back to play football, we make sure at least there is something etched in stone, that there is a goal that is attainable for these kids. Mm-hmm. So we let them know if this kid does everything that he needs to do, that he's able to do and be able to go back onto that sports team. So those are small things that we kind of look at, but they are large when we think about it, because we do. When you have judges calling you, you kind of look back and you're like, wow, you could have chosen to send him anywhere else, but that means you believe in me.